Hello and welcome to Blood on the Tamesis, the Prelude of Velvet Riley. With me today I have...
Thanks.
Who will be playing Velvet Riley? So this is a chance for you to get to meet one of the principal protagonists on Blood on the Tamesis and find out a little bit about who they were before they became a vampire. So we are going to start in the year 2000, in the summer, when Velvet is making his way to the UK on a plane. However, before we get into scenes, what I'd like is just for you to give anybody who's watching or listening a sense of what Velvet looks like, maybe any key features that he has, and how old he is, that sort of thing.
Okay. So Velvet's a man. He's about 31 years old. He's got a kind of sandy blonde hair, which I'm sure looks like Mitch's hair. If that means something good to people. So you can imagine him with that hair.
Yeah, he is quite attractive.
Yeah,
it's worth mentioning.
Beautiful man who looks much more like a kind of well-defined late 20s something and less like a 40-year-old mum. So he, aside from that, he speaks with an American accent because he's American. I think that's about it.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's great. So, as you're flying into Heathrow, you're on the plane, obviously travelling business class.
Of course.
With your family.
Yep.
Your wife, who is not American, called Jessica, and she is someone who is in her late 20s but looks in her mid-20s and keeps extreme care of her appearance. She's always very well turned out. She always just seems to know what to wear, the things that flatter her. She's very excited at the moment to be returning. I should say that she is white and she has blonde hair, currently set off nicely with a blue ribbon, and accompanying makeup. And with you both is Frederick, or Little Freddie. Little Freddie, who you might, depending on how Velvet pays attention to things, may realise that his little outfit that he's wearing also accents and ties in nicely with Jessica's outfit. They've got a nice little matching thing going on.
I think he would definitely notice this.
And Freddie looks adorable, and is being adorable.
Hooray!
He has not suffered. I wanted to see. He's not suffered on this flight too badly. He's doing okay. He's hanging in there. He's generally more excited by the view and the fact he's flying, for the first time, than he is about the funny things in his ears. And he's being plied with sweets to chew and things like that. And everything is smooth. So you will come down into Heathrow Airport, whereupon you will be met by a man who looks to be in his maybe early 30s. He's wearing a polo shirt which looks a little stretched around the middle. He's got kind of curly brown hair and quite a kind of earnest expression on his face. And he will be holding a card that says the Rileys on it.
Okay.
And
we'll head over to him.
You head over.
Yep.
And he looks, when he sees you, oh, he says, hello. I'm Alexander Herald. I'm here to meet you and show you the ropes and everything.
Hey, Alex. I'm Velvet.
Oh, lovely to meet you.
This is my wife Jessica and my little boy Freddie.
Oh, right. So charmed. And he shakes her hand and she smiles and is you don't think she likes him, but she doesn't give anything away. She smiles, shakes his hand. Freddie is pretty enamoured, and Alex says, do you mind? And he goes to pick up Freddie.
Oh, sure. I can't vouch for what he's going to do, but you knock yourself out.
Yeah, he's thrilled. He's picked up. Yay! He's in the air. He's having a good day today.
He's
Freddie is.
Around.
And yeah, Alex will kind of pick him up. He says, right. Well, if you come with me, I've got a car waiting, and we can. I'll get you to the house and everything's set up.
Right.
So he'll get you all in the car, and you all kind of get your luggage and stuff is all sorted out, and pretty soon you realise this. But I mean, I say you've been told it's summer, You're
Yeah.
pretty sure it's supposed to be summer, but it's raining and it's kind of cold. Although Alex is dressed for, I mean, his shirt is definitely short sleeve, definitely for the summer. Um, and yeah, so you're all in the car, you're driving along.
Alex, what's time of year is it here? I wasn't told it was summer, but it ain't
Oh,
summer.
well, you see, this is a British summer, so
And that's
that's
different from another sort of summer.
well, yes, it's wetter. It's wetter. That's the thing. You'll get used to it. You'll get used to it. Um, so I don't know. You probably got the information. I'm rather the old you or the retiring you. I've been laying the groundwork. Whilst everything and I understand. And hopefully things are going to be to your liking. And then once you're settled in, we can start the handover.
All right, that sounds good.
Um,
How much time you set aside for this handover? How long are you gonna be around for?
well, this is probably a bit of a strange thing to bring up now, but I am actually going to be moving on, but I can extend the time, for
Oh,
6 weeks
right.
or so, and of course I've signed various contracts, so nothing will be real. Although it's not a problem because, well, I'm not going into the same industry. Sorry, I'm just talking about myself. Sorry. He goes back to
That's all
driving.
right. I just met you.
Oh yes, right.
Seems sensible you talk about yourself.
Yes.
But you're moving on to something new. Is it in the
Yes.
company?
No, no. He looks a little bit coy.
Oh, all right. Well, where is this place that we're moving to? It's in London or it's outside of London?
Oh, Oxford.
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 Right. How far
Yes.
away is that?
It depends on the traffic. A few hours. A few
Oh,
hours.
all right. We're not gonna fly there.
He smiles. Jessica laughs in the car. She says, "Oh, Velvet."
What?
No, nothing. You're just being you. It's fine.
Nobody drives for hours in America. You would just get a plane.
But darling, we're not in America anymore.
But you have planes, right? We came in on
I
one.
mean, we do, but well, it's faster this way.
All right. You
Um,
know Oxford, Jess?
yes, yes, it's my hometown.
All right.
I've so much to show you. It's beautiful. You'll love it.
How old is it? What, like a couple of 100 years old?
It's very old by your standards.
Right.
Don't worry.
All right.
There are lots of things to see, museums. The architecture's wonderful.
Right.
I mean, well, but everything will seem old to you, but it's in a nice way. It's good.
All right.
So you're driving along, and because there's not much to do, Jessica will say to Alex, "Well, aren't you going to tell us what you're going on to? Have you had an offer or something?" And he blushes. He says, "Well, not a business offer exactly. Um, I am getting married, and
Oh,
well,
congratulations.
oh, thank you, thank you. But my wife and I, we are, well, we want to try a different kind of lifestyle. So I'm sort of retiring out of this business. It's going to be quite difficult actually. Well, she's very knowledgeable about this sort of thing. She's quite a green thumb, but I don't really. I'll have to learn. But I think it'll be an adventure. It'll yeah, should be fun." Jessica says, "You're going to have your very own good life." And he says, "Yes, yes, that's right."
Velvet looks bemused at this reference,
Yeah,
which he doesn't understand at all.
sure.
Yeah.
So anyway, you will be taken. Seems to take a long time. The roads do not quite seem big enough to handle the cars
These
on
cars are really small.
and the cars are too small and doesn't have air conditioning. Yeah, I know, I know. If
Alex.
you were a vampire, I'd ask you to make a frenzy check, but
Yeah, exactly.
luckily you're not. Um, so you make your way to the place that you are going to be staying, which is a nice property close to the centre of Oxford. Well, you're told it's a nice property. It does look nice. It looks like it's old. It looks like a history. It looks tiny. I mean, it just looks tiny, and it is detached, but
Alex, are you sure this is the property my father briefed you on? I mean, it's pretty little. I mean, you.
he says, and then Jessica says, "But perfectly formed, darling."
But where are we gonna put all our things?
Oh, don't worry. There's plenty of space, and
Look at the
she's
size of that door. How is the guy going to get the refrigerator through?
well, the refrigerator's already inside.
What? The chest refrigerator?
No. I don't worry. I've taken care of all that. Don't worry.
All right.
You're going to love it. I promise you. You're going to love it.
You're sure it's not falling down?
No. It's stood for a long time. It's very well built. It's built to last.
All right.
It's heritage.
It's heritage, right?
So, a few days will follow where you are settled into your new home. It is nice. It is pretty. It is too small. Whether Velvet presses this point or not is up to you.
There's no room for a pool table.
There is
There's
no room for a pool table.
No, or a games room, or a den.
I mean, there will be a spare room. There will be a room that can function as a study. Freddie will have a playroom and his own room. And Jessica does have a kind of walk-in wardrobe set up in one of the things.
Aha! This will get pressed. She can't have a walk-in wardrobe if I'm not having a games room. I need a pool table.
Okay. So obviously not everything is fully set up yet. So when you're taking in, she'll be saying like, this is where this is going to be. This is where that's going to be. So let's have a very quick roll. How are you going to try and persuade her that you need a pool table instead of her having a walk-on? What's your approach?
My approach is...
How are you going to win her over?
I have to spend a lot of time at work. I don't get very much downtime. She does not have to spend a lot of time at work. She spends a lot of time at the house. So she does not need a big wardrobe. I need this room, the wardrobe room, to put a pool table in.
I feel this is a sort of manipulation and persuasion state of affairs. So I will make a roll for her. So yeah, if you add together your skill dots and stat dots, roll them as a pool. 6s and up are a success.
Oh dear.
So you have one success. Interestingly, she too has one success.
Okay.
And so what happens is this debate goes on for some time.
I don't have a pool table.
Are you going to press for the pool table?
No.
Okay, because she will press for the wardrobe.
Okay.
And I should say that this goes on over a few days and it is wearing.
Okay.
Like it's not pleasant, because you both kind of know what you want.
Yeah. Neither of us are giving.
And it's one of those things where you're obviously doing other things, but it keeps just every so often one of you will make a comment about it, and then you'll go into a little and then. So there is a weird when you step back from it. There is a kind of relief, like fine, it's done.
Fine.
And she is pleased, and she is much nicer to you as a result. Like as that having happened. Freddie's good day ends. And he is sort of, because obviously there's not a lot to do in the house. There's lots of work to do to sort things out. You have a huge amount of stuff to read and catch up on.
Yep.
Alex will occasionally be taking you off to see bits and bobs. She is trying to organise this huge move and getting a lot of stuff into a very small space and making decisions and bits and bobs. And as such, it's quite a fraught time. And Freddie feels a bit neglected. And Jessica will ask you if you could have Freddie on one of your kind of working days.
Oh, on a working day.
On a working day.
Let me see what I can sort out. I need to check in with Alex to see what else there is that can be moved around. Okay. What day is it? Next week or this week?
So she'll ask for a Thursday.
Get hold of Alex, phone him up.
Yep.
Find out what I'm supposed to be doing on Thursday.
He will tell you that you have a couple of meetings, and there is in the evening a kind of symposium where various people are coming forward to present ideas. It's also a bit of a meet and greet, and it's a chance for you to start meeting people. It's not just Riley Core that are doing this. It's like lots of the different industries around, and it's a chance for you to start getting to know people and doing that kind of business. It's a networking event. Okay. Something we all love.
Yes.
So what are you going to?
Can you shift those meetings to another day? I need the day to look after Freddie.
Yes, I can do that. I think.
What time does?
Yes, I can do that.
What time's the symposium start?
8 o'clock.
All right. I'll tell Jess she can have till 8, and then she's back on child duty.
Okay.
So.
Jess will do the whole, but you know, there are these friends, I've not seen them in years, and I was gonna blah blah blah, but eventually you'll get her into the day, and that's fine. So, Thursday comes. What are you gonna do with Freddie?
Ugh. Right, well, child in-house equals bored child, so let's take him out somewhere. I will ask Jessica, where in Oxford does one take out a 5-year-old?
She'll suggest to you a couple of parks,
Okay.
potentially.
I'll
It is the summer, allegedly, and there are occasionally breaks in the rain.
Okay.
Thursday is one of those breaks in the rain, so
Hooray.
you can do that. So
I will take him out. I will attempt to put together a bag of the items one might need whilst taking a child out. Like a change of clothes or whatever.
So Freddie says to you when you're out in the park at one point, you're playing and he's like running around a bit. So at one point he stops and he says, "Now we're in Oxford. Does that mean you're not my daddy anymore?"
What? Why would you say that? Of course not.
Mama says she's my mummy now, not mama.
Oh, right.
Mama says
You can call her mama.
You're my dad.
I'm your daddy.
Daddy. She says it funny, daddy. She says it funny.
Listen, Freddie, nothing has changed here at all, okay? Your mom is your mom. I'm still your daddy. And that's not going to change.
I was scared you were going to go away.
I'm not going away. I'm never going away. Listen to me. Listen to me. You're the most important thing in the world to me. Absolutely. Sure of nothing. Now, what do you say we go get some ice cream?
I love you, daddy.
I love you too, long.
So you go and you get some ice cream. You have a nice day.
Hooray.
You have a nice day, and yeah, it's quite.
Freddie eats nothing nutritional the whole day.
No, and he thinks you're the best. He has the best time. It's all good. The evening comes along, and you end up. Obviously, you hand Freddie back over. You go to the Oxford Conference Centre for this big thing. There are huge numbers of people. There are name badges. It's lots of going on.
Okay.
What is Velvet's approach here? Does he intend to do lots of meeting and greeting? Is he just going to stay back and observe? Is he going to wish he was somewhere else? Is he going to run away?
Definitely press the flesh.
Okay.
So meet lots of people, but with the intention, at least internally, the intention of seeking out other people who are in this industry or in this space who might share or produce products which would be in line with his ethical values that he could use himself as
You're looking for business people who might have a shred of soul.
Yes.
Okay.
Obviously there are loads of these.
I will raise the difficulty.
Yes.
So could you make for me a charisma and etiquette roll?
Okay.
Because this is you basically trying to make a good first impression and show that you are the right kind of person. Oh, I should add, if you wish to spend willpower to re-roll up to 3 dice, you can.
Yeah, let's do that.
So you can re-roll that as if you want. So 4 successes.
Okay. Is it 4? Because you said it was a higher difficulty.
No, so this is not like V20 in that the difficulties don't change. It's always 6 or higher as a success.
Oh, you just need more successes.
It's just you need more, yeah. So it's in many ways kind of a little bit simpler than it used to be. So you start to go around, and of course, you're used to meeting people you don't know. This is very much kind of putting on your game face, doing the business. The thing that's odd is that although some people have heard of the name, normally people know who you are, or the moment they hear who you are, they know the family you come from, and your family's influence doesn't extend to the UK. So there's that weird moment sometimes where you introduce yourself and they don't immediately go, oh, or yes, or wonderful, and then you have to do a little bit more talking. but you do start to kind of win a few people over and make a few contacts. There aren't many people at first as you're going around, that catch your eye or what have you. There's a break after the initial meet and greet where various people do talks.
Yep.
Some of them talking about kind of business practice. Some of them are kind of motivational, inspirational speeches. Some are things about where they see certain areas of the industry going in the future. Some people are businessmen themselves. Some are kind of researchers or people who've got key things. Which and there are drinks for you to enjoy and little canapé snacks and that kind of business.
Is Alex with me?
Alex will be, I mean, he's not like glued to you,
Yes,
but he's there whenever you need him.
Perfect. Perfect subordinate.
Yes, he is very much. He's very much subordinate, and he's very accommodating. He's generally quite excited, and if you don't distract him, he'll kind of talk about some of his little plans for the future. And
oh, good. I won't distract him.
They're going to be having their own farm.
Wow.
And he will confess to you he knows nothing about farming, and his big fear is that he's going to be terrible at it.
Well, you know what? Back a couple hundred years ago, my family made all their money out of farming. Well, the plantations. So, as I understand it, it's something that most people can turn their hand to. I'm sure you're not going to be terrible at it. You're doing this. It's got to be more complicated.
Well, I don't know.
It's subsistence farming, though, right?
Yes.
So it's not like industrial agriculture.
No. It's going to be very small, just the two of us to start with, anyway.
And you said your wife, she has green fingers.
Oh yes. Well, she's been planning this for a long time, so she's.
You'll be good.
Yes,
you guys should come over for dinner.
Oh, I would love that, and you should meet. Sarah's lovely.
Yeah, absolutely.
And obviously, I'm sure we'd all get on. Oh, that's so kind of you.
Yeah. Well, what about tomorrow?
Yes, of course.
Right. I better check with Jess in case something is being delivered.
Oh yes, no trouble if.
No, we'll set a date. That's fine.
Oh, great. So various talks come and go, and then a man comes to make a talk, and one of the things that catches your eye is that a lot of the people who come to make their talks come with a certain amount of swagger and a certain amount of
I expect this. Yeah.
Whereas this guy comes up, it seems like he's quite introverted, like he's quite, almost like when you start to think, is he gonna do this?
He's building himself up to this.
Like, is he gonna do it? Is he gonna be okay? And there's something about it that just kind of catches your attention because you're quite good at reading people and reading things, and he's quite hard to read, but it feels like he's not even necessarily fully aware of everybody as he's making his way up, like he's kind of in his own space.
I still have to watch him.
So as you pay attention further, that aura, if you like, that he has is slightly enhanced by the fact there is something almost frail looking about him. It's quite slender and almost delicate looking, and he's kind of smartly but modestly dressed, very much in the style of many of the people here, kind of modern suit, and it's quite fitted. So it's quite a snug fit. He is black. He looks to be in his maybe late 20s, you think. Very neat hair. But the moment before he starts his address, it's like he takes a breath. It's almost like he makes himself take a breath. And when he looks up, feels like he looks at you. He begins speaking, and you do follow to a degree what he says. He is talking about a stagnation in current practices. He's talking about certain things coming up and ways that we have to adapt. He's talking about the need for a rethink on certain things that are not sustainable, which gets some mixed reactions, but not as much as you'd expect. He does seem to have the room's attention, largely speaking, and there's something about him, you just can't take your eyes off him when he speaks. And when he comes to the end of his address, obviously people applaud, and it's very stirring. Some people applaud slightly slower than others, but even the people that you don't think like what he's saying still applaud the speech itself. Or
I applaud a lot.
you applaud a lot.
Yes.
You're very...
I'm very vociferous about my
and obviously, and at the risk of stereotyping, apologies for people watching this, but perhaps your vociferous is like vociferous squared.
Yes.
Right? So
I'm obvious about being vociferous.
So you're clearly, and so there will be a moment where maybe your applause actually does catch his attention, and that sense of he started talking directly to me becomes, he is really now definitely looking directly at me.
More whooping and less bravo.
And he gives a slight kind of, a slightly embarrassed smile perhaps, or a sort of shy smile. And then it looks like he's about to leave the stage. And as it's almost like he goes back into himself again. You know, that sense of him being like talking about these very important, passionate things. He's suddenly this kind of slightly... and he kind of makes his way off the stage.
How far between him and me? Can I get to him if I walk? Can I?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, it's not like It's not like everybody's sat in rows.
Okay.
You've been standing watching. He's been on like a raised platform, so you can.
I make my way by the shortest method possible to try and intercept him before he walks off somewhere.
Okay. Yeah. You can intercept him, no trouble.
I will approach him with my hand offered.
He will shake it. He has. It's not a limp grip, but it's a gentle grip.
Do I know his name from the conversation?
You'll know his name is Adam Palmer.
Adam Palmer. Okay.
And he's kind of. It's actually quite pleasant in that it's quite a hot room, and his hand is quite cool. It sends a little shiver down you.
Okay. I will say, Adam, it was a fantastic speech. Really interesting things you had to say.
Thank you. I don't think we've met.
No, I don't think so. I've only been here a few days. My name's Velvet Riley. I represent Riley Corp. We are opening a subsidiary here in Oxford. But I wonder if we might get an opportunity to talk in private, or talk business in a more appropriate setting. These events are all well and good. Networking is fine, but
Yes.
You find someone who has similar interests.
No, I'd like that. I'd like that very much, actually.
Oh, well, Alex, where are you?
Oh, hello.
Alex, will you take Adam's details and set up a meeting?
Of course I will.
We'll do this in the next 3 or 4 days if we can. If you have availability. Do you have a secretary that Alex should be in contact with?
I'll make sure that he has their details, and
all right.
And we can be in touch.
Right.
Well,
good. I look forward to it.
Yes, it's been really nice to meet you. Thank you for what you said.
No, it's no problem.
It's not always the warmest audience here.
No, I can imagine that, but that's something that we have to change. Well, have a good evening.
Yes, you too. So, Alex will go off, kind of chatting away, writing notes, and with Adam. You will have your kind of the rest of your symposium. There is a point towards the end where, because you're, I suspect, to some extent, radaring him for the rest of this event.
Certainly. If
you can give me a resolve and awareness. No, a resolve and insight.
Insight. Okay.
Resolve and insight. Oh. Okay. So that's 4 successes. You think he is also sort of radaring you, and you think he is contemplating coming back over to talk to you.
Oh, that's much more satisfying.
That's the vibe you get. But like he hasn't, like he's obviously talking to other people at times, and you're talking to other people at times, and you're doing your own little maneuvers around this sort of business dance floor. But every so often, you're obviously just kind of out of the periphery checking out what he's doing, and you think he is doing the same, and that you haven't he hasn't quite organised things, or maybe he hasn't got the courage. You're not sure, but he hasn't yet. But you think your gut tells you that he might want to come over and talk to you.
I arrange things so that I end up in my path of shaking hands back around where he is.
I think you could probably do that, yes.
So I will do that.
So you are maneuvering your way into position, and maybe it's your imagination, but maybe he is doing the same. And maybe there's a sort of unspoken sense of this happening, and maybe there's that little frisson of something, and you're getting closer and you're working your way. But it's sort of in this really painstakingly tedious way where you're like, oh, yes, yes, yes. And someone's saying, and you know, we've
like
been
the
doing
last
this.
three people I don't care about.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
like, and they're sort of trying to say, oh, and what is it like? And how are you finding Oxford? And all
Yes.
this kind of thing. And you finally get to the point where you are just getting there, where you can do your thing, when you see Adam like just starting to notice you, and then somebody steps between you. Give me one more. This time it's a wits and awareness roll. Just give me a quick wits and awareness roll.
I have no awareness. Okay, well, never mind. Oh.
Awesome. So what happens, as far as you're concerned, is you're about to see him, and then suddenly someone is stepping between you.
I'm not happy about this at all.
No, because you've been working really hard to get to this point. So there is a gentleman. He looks to be in his early 30s. And the moment you see him, there is something in you that goes, like there is just it's hard to put your finger on it, but it's something like, there are some people that you just have the sense that they can, maybe there's a ruthlessness, or maybe there's a hardness, or there's a something. Like, he's quite well dressed. He is not dressed the same as the other people here, and I'll come on to that in a moment. But despite his well-dressed clothes, despite everything else, there is just something about you that immediately thinks, if you were at the poker table, you'd watch this guy.
Okay.
It's that kind of thing.
Then my demeanour changes immediately. It's much more cautious. It's not actually stepping back. It's not confrontational, but nor is it backing down from this. My immediate thing will be to just try and quickly step around him, and see what he does.
Okay. So you just try, like, he's coming forward with a hand outstretched.
And I'm just trying to dodge him and move past him.
So I should say as well, he looks, the style of his dress is actually something that reminds you of home.
Oh.
But it's the kind of thing that maybe your father would wear on a formal occasion. It's that kind of style of clothes, rather than what you might wear on a formal occasion. Okay. His hair is tied back in a very kind of short ponytail.
In which case, as I'm trying to pass him, can I take his hand and shake it, make a greeting, and then move on?
Yeah. So you take his hand and you shake it, and he says, "My, so nice to meet a fellow countryman in this place. Why don't you and I take a walk?"
I am on my way to a meeting. We can take a walk another time, I'm sure. My secretary can take your details.
I'm not in the habit of talking to secretaries. Now, why don't we take a walk outside and have a little bit of time? And you're about to rebuff him, like, what the... Yes. And then you realise you have taken a walk. You're walking, he's talking to you. You think there was someone there. You think you catch a glimpse of Adam's face, and it's fallen. But it doesn't really stick with you because you're taking a walk. And then you are out in the fresh night air, just at the doors to the conference centre. And says, "Now, let me guess. You must be a Riley."
Sure.
Now, that's not fair, because I happen to know your daddy. And,
of course you do. Everyone knows my daddy.
Everybody knows your daddy. And he said to me that you were coming over here. And as someone who's only recently come over myself, I thought I would, as a personal favor, make sure that I could be around. It can be a little bit.
So you're my minder?
I'm your family friend. I'm here to help you out, that's all. Because it could be a little bit confusing here in this funny place with these people who seem to like living in little boxes, and talking in funny voices,
You're right about those two things.
and have no sense of how big a steak should be.
No, you're right about that too.
And that could be a difficult time. So consider me your friend in a difficult time.
Say I buy into this. You're just turning up now. I've been here for a week.
Well, I would not want to get in the way of you settling in. I want you to find your feet a little. And this seemed like a good place to meet and greet.
It seemed like you're checking up on me.
Well,
I was in the middle of doing my job, as it was when you interrupted me.
I'm sure those people wait a little longer, and I'm sure you don't mind a friend of the family introducing themselves.
You're right. You're right.
I am right.
I'm sorry, the etiquette here is not the same as it is at home.
I know these people can be strange, but you and I, we can be straight with one another. So, all I'm saying is, if you need anything, he pulls out a card. Says, you can call my secretary.
Right. Well, thank you. I hope that I don't have need to use this.
He says, well, that's funny. I rather hope you do. And he goes back inside.
I tried to remember what I was doing before this came to happen.
It takes a moment, like, that was weird.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take that long to remember what you were doing. Like, it comes back to you, you're like, oh yeah,
I
know.
curse myself and try and make my way quickly back to wherever and see if I can find Adam.
Okay.
I don't make any pretense of working my way up to this.
So you're just gonna beeline
Yes.
in.
If he's there, if I can see him.
Give me a quick, let's say resolve in this case, plus awareness. Because you're trying to spot someone in a crowd. You are motivated.
Yeah,
you are motivated to find him. So what you see, although it's on the other side of the room, is the man that was just talking to you is in conversation with Adam. And
I hate this guy already.
And
Okay.
And it's, you only catch the tail end of it, but you see enough to see that he is maybe closer than you would expect someone to be. Not a lot, but like he's got that forward lean, and Adam has that very slight backward lean. And then as soon as they're done, Adam turns and starts to go like off.
Like out of the door.
You suspect.
I make to intercept him.
Now, if you want to catch him, I mean, depending on how and when you want, but you might have to hurry, which may not be the best first impression maker of you.
Nope.
But if you don't care, then you can do that. If you do care.
I do care. So I want to be quick, but not obviously quick. So probably not that quick.
Let's make a manipulation and etiquette roll to see basically, can you, because there are people who are going to be trying to talk to you.
Yes.
Can you basically shark your way through everything?
Barriers, can I hope?
Yeah. Okay, that's not bad. Not bad. It's frustrating in that things sometimes get in your way. There will be a point where it'll occur to you that the guy didn't introduce himself. But as you're going by, because you will have to pass roughly where he is, he will give you a little nod as you're passing by him. You will hurry your way through everybody, out through the door, and you're quick enough that you can see Adam. Looks like he's on a phone, and he is out on the street.
Am I far enough away that if I would have to shout to get his attention, or could I just speak loudly and not seem like I was yelling.
You'd have to shout to get his attention, or you could hurry and then maybe call him.
Get out. Where's Alex?
Alex is blustering out of the door behind you, looking worried. Is everything all right?
I ask him to give me Adam's number.
Okay, he will give you Adam's number.
I dial him immediately.
Okay, so Adam is on the phone.
Yes, I'm hoping a voicemail.
Yes, you will get. You've reached Adam Palmer. Please leave a message after the tone.
Adam, it's Velvet Riley here. We met at the symposium tonight. I was caught up in something unexpected, and I had intended to speak to you before you went. Please dial me when you get this message.
Okay. Not long after that, you'll see a car will pull up. He will get into it. Some stuff happens at the rest of the symposium. You don't really think too much about it. It comes to an end.
I ask Alex if he knows who the guy who intercepted me was.
He says, no, I'm afraid I don't. I think he's fairly new.
I say, investigate that and tell me everything you know about this. But you can find out about this person.
So, right, yes.
Not like right now. Tomorrow is fine.
Okay.
It's what is it, like 11 o'clock or something? You gotta go home to Sarah.
Yes, Sarah, yes. So, symposium ends. You go back home. I assume you don't say anything of this to Jessica.
I ask. What I do tell her is what Freddie said to me at the park. I ask her about it, but I don't tell her anything about what happened in the evening.
Oh, she'll just say that she doesn't want him to get bullied by the other children. She, if he speaks, with a different accent, then says these things that they're going to bully him, and she doesn't want that.
Right. Well, will you keep an eye on it because he was upset about it, and he didn't take the right context from it. He thinks it means I'm not his daddy.
Oh, she's quite appalled by that, and she apologises.
It's not your fault, I'm sure.
I'm so sorry, Velvet. I want things to be perfect for him here. I don't.
I know. I want the same thing, but I don't want him upset, and I know you don't either. So we just gotta keep an eye on it.
So, are you keeping your phone with you that night?
Yes.
Your phone will ring, but it will ring at about 2 in the morning or something.
I get up to take it. I mumble something about it being work. But I don't take it in this room. I go somewhere else.
Okay.
Probably.
She will only half wake up. You get away with it. So you go out. You will recognise Adam's voice on the other end. He says, "Hello, is that Mr. Riley?"
Yeah, Adam.
Yes.
This is Velvet. Thanks for calling me.
I'm sorry that I left in a hurry. Something came up. But I wanted to say I'm still. I'd still like to meet you.
That's what
So please don't take my quick exit as a personal slight.
I was intending on saying the same thing to you. I got hijacked by somebody. Actually, the guy you were speaking to just before you left. He apparently is a friend of my father's, but
yes.
But I've never met him before, and I only arrived here about a week ago, so it looks like I have a minder. But you know what? Pretty good at getting away from minders. So.
All right. Well.
Out of interest, what do you have to say to you?
We have certain business interests in common.
Oh, you do? Well,
yes.
That means you must have interest in common with Riley Corp, right?
Yes,
Why don't
absolutely.
you come over to the office tomorrow? I'll clear my schedule.
Tomorrow is tricky, but perhaps next week. I've spoken to Alexander, and I was thinking perhaps maybe you mentioned talking in a more pleasant environment. Perhaps we might meet for dinner somewhere or something like that.
I like that.
Yes, I think that would be nice.
I'm only here recently, so you gotta tell me where it's good.
I'll find a place.
Jess told me about some place called the Waterside or something.
I'll find a place.
All right. Well, you know what? Don't go through Alex. Just text me. or for me. And once you have the details, I'll meet you there.
I'll do that.
All right. Well, I'm sorry to have missed you.
And the call ends. So you do meet him for dinner. And you do talk a little bit about business, but you also talk. It's pleasant.
Yep.
He suggests maybe you meet again to firm up business ideas. There's various sort of.
Yep. I will agree to this.
Um,
But I suggest like the next day or something.
Yeah.
Or the next night.
So he's always a little bit reserved. There's always that you have a slight sense that he's in two minds or weighing up. It's not, you don't sense he doesn't want to be with you, but you sense he's hesitant about something. And so often he won't agree to the next day. He might agree to a couple of evenings later.
Okay.
He tends to always take you out of big business environments. Tends to be quite quiet, often in places where you can have like a private booth, or at least it's a very discreet kind of, you're upstairs in a restaurant, that kind of thing. And it feels weirdly like somewhere between business meetings and dating. It's kind of odd.
It is odd, but actually, it's much more appealing than probably anything else I'm doing at the moment.
It is. It is without doubt. And
I am much more forward about this than he is.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
But you think he likes that you're forward. It's just, he doesn't.
Yes.
He doesn't necessarily reciprocate in a big way, but you start, as you get to know him better.
I just think he likes the chase.
Yes.
That's what I think. Yeah.
You also get better at reading his tells. Those little things where you think, yeah, I think he liked that.
Yeah.
Or, oh no, maybe that was a bit too far.
Okay.
You start getting a kind of a sense of him. And are you going to keep it strictly business?
No.
So what is Velvet's approach here? Let's say that you are once again meeting. Oh, give me a very quick resolve and insight, because you, I imagine, are paying lots of attention.
Yes.
To him. Okay. So for those of you who can't see that dice roll, that was lots of successes. That was 2, 4, 6 successes. So he's not pretending he likes you. You know that. You think he wants to do something about it. You think if you want it, you can get it.
Have it. Okay.
That's what you think, and you think you've figured out the best way to get it. That he's being hesitant not because he wants to be hesitant. You think he maybe he's not sure of you, or maybe there are other things going on, you're not sure of that, but the right bit of encouragement.
Okay. I am I have two thoughts about this.
Okay.
I think I want this as much as he does, but I still have a wife.
Yes.
So I think from the point of making that realization, I think I will not do anything about it that evening.
Yes.
Or go away and think about it.
Yes.
And if eventually, between then and the next time I see him, then I'll be resolved to do something about it. So wherever I agree to meet him the next time, I will go with the intention of actively pursuing that from the outset.
And what does Velvet actively pursuing it look like? So
it depends where we're meeting. If we're meeting somewhere which has any kind of level of privacy to it,
you can certainly arrange that if you want
to. Then when I arrive, if we're alone, wherever this place is, if we're alone, when I arrive, then I will just kiss him.
Okay. So you go there, he's in himself, but when you see him, he does smile, and there's always that time where he doesn't start with lots of conversation. It always takes him a little while to warm up, to build up, and you see him doing that thing where he kind of like takes a breath, almost like he's gathering himself, and as he's taking that breath, you just go, and
Turn his face towards mine.
and you kiss him, and it's very sort of Hollywood-esque in that there's that moment of surprise. But actually, you think this was the right approach because he doesn't have time to think, to prepare, to raise defenses, and he does kiss you back, and you have a nice night. And this begins a series of nice nights. And now you are seeing each other more regularly. And there is a little bit more maneuvering of schedules and how do you keep making it seem like, oh, I'm
Yep.
just going out for business. But Velvet's not bad at this.
Nope.
And you do it. And whatever Adam seems that he should have to do, he does it. And then a few weeks go by like this. And normally there's a point which you start to, that,
Use interest.
yeah, but it doesn't happen here.
Okay.
You can't, maybe you're not quite sure what it is. Maybe there's just something about him that when he lights up, it just, it's like it renews that sense for you of everything. And also, it's like you feel like you're always having to chase him a little bit. You're always having to pull him back. Like when you're not actively doing things, it's almost like he will naturally revert back to kind of his introverted self. And so he makes you work, and there's something kind of satisfying.
Yeah.
Not that you think he's playing you along, it's just that's
No.
how he is.
This development of of that perspective of not becoming bored with this is of concern to me, because I am, I suppose, coming to the view that this might be something that I therefore would want to continue to pursue, which I wouldn't have counted on when I started down this path. So I haven't allowed for it in my thinking of how this works.
Sure. So maybe you're feeling a little uncertain when he'll meet you, and it will be somewhere where it is absolutely private. It's like a private booth that he's booked, but there's food and there's things like that. But he won't be as kind of passionate as normal, but he will still greet you with a kiss.
Yep.
He's very discreet. He never kisses you in public. He never.
I don't do that either.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're not quite sure what his reasons
Yes.
are. Obviously, you know your own. He says, "Velvet, can I talk to you about something?
Sure.
I didn't plan any of this.
Oh, neither did I.
I didn't. This is not really how things are supposed to be.
What do you mean?
I mean, I'm not really supposed to be seeing you like this.
No, are you breaking up with me?
No, I'm not breaking up with you. I'd like to take this further. I probably should wait longer before I talk about this, but I know. Sometimes you just know with these things. And I've been trying to tell myself to wait and tell myself that it's too soon and that I might say something foolish. But I know.
I know just what you mean. But you're right, it ain't simple. And I don't know how we navigate this.
There's I'd like you to become a more permanent part of my life.
You know I have a wife.
I do.
And you know there is never going to be a time when my family are going to be, you know what, it's fine for you to divorce Jess and do this. It's not going to...
I'm not asking you to divorce your wife. I'm not asking you to do that. In fact, I don't think that will be possible, knowing what I know. But I do want to be open with you about who I am, and I want to offer you a kind of intimacy that I didn't think I would.
All right. What do you mean open? You mean what your business is doing, or?
No, I mean about me, about who I am, and something. There's no. I've rehearsed this. I've thought about this like a speech, and there's no easy way to say what I'm going to say without you either thinking that I'm playing some horrible joke on you, or that I've lost my senses, and I haven't. I'm not like other people, Velvet.
I know that. I see it the moment I saw you.
But the thing that makes me different, I'd like to share it with you. I'd like you to be part of it, because I don't. There'll come a time where you'll go away, and I don't want that to happen.
All right. Well, I don't quite follow what you're saying, but I mean, you can tell me whatever it is. You can tell me.
What if I told you there's a way that we can enjoy what we're enjoying forever? That you would not have to worry about a lot of the things that you worry about right now. You wouldn't have to worry about illness or age, or I know, but hypothetically, if I said to you there was a way that we could be together like this forever, would you take it?
Yes.
I need to talk to someone. I need to ask someone something. I think they'll say yes. And if they do, then I'm going to call you and meet you, and then I'll tell you. I'll be clearer. I know
You're
I'm
not
being
going to tell me now?
I'll tell you. I'll tell you now. I'll tell you now. It's only fair. But it's not going to make a lot of sense.
Who's this other person that you have to call? I mean,
That's
wait a minute. Are you married?
No, I'm not married. I'm not married. It's not like that. I just have. It's complicated. I don't know how to. It's like if I was trying to explain to you all of British history in one sitting. The context. There's too much. There's too much context.
All right. So you've got to go speak to this person, and then you're going to call me?
Then I'm going to call you, and then you have to trust me on this. It's going to seem strange, and I'm asking a lot of you, but trust me, I will talk to you. I'll give you the chance to say no again. I just need to ask this person. But
you're going to do this now?
I'm going to do this now, and as soon as I hear back, I'm going to call you.
So I would wait here, or I'm going home?
Yes. No, wait here. Stay here. Stay here.
All right.
I'm going to be a few hours.
Oh, all right.
But stay here.
Sure, right? I've got some of the work I can be doing.
He'll lean in and he'll kiss you.
Okay.
I know I haven't told you much, and I know there's a lot to explain, but I feel like this is right, and I think this could work. I think this could be something really wonderful.
All right.
And he gets up and he heads off.
I sit and try to figure out what on earth he might be talking about. So my mind will go through all manner of terrible things, and probably some positive things. When that's exhausted, I must have work I need to do, which I will apply myself to.
Sure, yeah, you absolutely do that. So, sitting there, and eventually your phone will ring.
I pick it up.
And it's him.
Oh.
He says, I'm on my way back.
All right.
It's good news. It's perfect news. They said, yes, I'm going to tell you everything. And oh, it's such a relief. I can't believe it.
Animal, you all right?
Yes, no, I'm better than all right. I'm the best I've been. This is, you'll understand. You'll understand when I see you.
All right. Well, I'm right here, so get here as soon as you can.
So, you wait a little longer. And when finally the door to the booth opens, there's not Adam standing there.
Okay.
It is the gentleman that you met, who you didn't like.
Family friend.
The family friend.
Okay.
He says, well, well, well. What a pickle we seem to have found ourselves in. You're working awfully late, far from home, aren't you, Velvet? He comes and he sits himself in the booth where Adam was sitting before. Closes the thing behind him.
So, I'm not allowed to work late. I'd have thought my father would approve.
Well, you're allowed to do a lot of things. Of course you are. You're a grown man.
Right.
Problem is, there are some things going on. See, your family, as you know,
What about my family?
they're a very prosperous family. And I see it as my personal duty to protect that family, to keep them on their path to greatness. Now, it seems to me that you've been keeping the wrong kind of company lately. And that has put me in something of a situation that I did not intend to be in. That does not make me a very happy man. And as you are about to find out, that is not a good thing for anybody. So, you can forget about any other plans you had this evening. You are going to be coming with me.
I don't think I'm going anywhere with you.
He smiles. I was rather hoping you'd say that. He says, now let me tell you what's going to happen. And he leans forward and he looks you in the eye. He says, you are going to get up with me in a minute. You're going to walk with me to my car. And you are going to get in that car. My chauffeur is going to drive us somewhere. And on that whole journey, your mouth is not going to move once. But let me tell you, your ears are going to be open. And you get up. And you walk with him to his car. And his chauffeur drives you somewhere else.
If I try not to get up, presumably I'm still getting up.
Yeah, you don't want to get up, but you
Yeah.
have got up.
Okay, yeah.
You don't want to speak, but you do.
Okay.
Sorry, you don't want to. You don't want to.
Listen.
You do want to speak,
But I don't.
but you don't speak.
Okay.
You don't want to listen, but you do listen.
Okay.
And in fact, as your mind is recoiling with this, something strange happens. You realise that maybe you do want to listen to him. Maybe you do want to walk to the car. That is kind of what you wanted to do because he said it, and it kind of makes sense. And it's a strange feeling. There is some part of you screaming in the background, but give me a, let's say, a resolve and intelligence roll. Just on the off chance. You can roll. You can spend willpower if you want.
Yes.
Go for it.
Spend. How much did I already spend? 3, I think.
Yeah, but we'll say it's refreshed. It's fine. Because there's a lot of time passing at the moment. What was your total?
3.
So everything is pretty much as I described it.
Okay.
There is maybe some tiny part of you somewhere that is hanging on going, what is going on? What am I doing? You are driven to somewhere out in Oxfordshire in the middle of the night. It's really late because you're waiting for Adam anyway. And when you get there, he says, now we're going to take a little walk. And he walks you to what seems to be like you can see distantly again some kind of quite grand. This looks like a better sized house. You're out in the countryside. This is, yeah, you approve of the dimensions. Next to it, there is a barn, um, but there aren't currently animals in there, but there are pens that could hold pigs
Okay.
or something like it. And you go into this thing. He shuts the door behind you. He says, "See, problem is that your family, such as they are, belong to me. And I will not have some jacked up nobody taking anyone from my family away from me. You may be having a lot of questions, but let me tell you now, your questions are irrelevant until I decide to give you an answer. So let me tell you how this is going to be." And he leans forward. You can say anything you want at this point.
Okay. Is he leaning in close to me?
Yeah.
Can I physically push him away?
You can certainly try.
And try and get away from him. Okay.
Yeah. Make a strength and brawl if you've got it. Okay, yes. Roll your individual dice. That's a fail.
Yeah, never mind.
Okay, it is like he's not. He's quite a slender guy. I mean, he doesn't look frail at all, but he's wiry. There's something a bit weaselly about him. He's reasonably tall though, but when you push him, it's like nothing happens. He doesn't, like, you're like, what? Like nothing happens at all. It's quite disturbing. He just gives you like a smile. He says, I was rather hoping you were going to do that. He says, now, we've got to go through a process, you and I. Process I was not intending to carry out on you at all.
Wait a minute, you work for my family. If I tell my father this, there's not any...
No, you misunderstand. I do not work for your family. Your family belongs to me.
That's the stupidest thing I ever heard. People don't belong to each other like that anymore.
Let me take you back to what I said earlier about your questions and your opinions being irrelevant until I say otherwise. And he goes over to a little table, like a metal table in there, and he picks up a knife. He says, "Now,
whoa, what?
He says, "Now, unfortunately for the both of us," he says, "the blood that flows through your veins is not to my particular taste. So we're going to do this the old-fashioned way, the painful way. He says, may I recommend you close your eyes? Or do you want to look me in the face while I do this?"
I am not closing my eyes. I am, however, trying to run the hell away.
Okay.
By whatever means possible.
So the problem with this space is there are pens and there are things, and he is just faster than you, stronger than you,
better than
you. Well, maybe better is the wrong adjective.
Yeah.
He's probably not better than you on some certain metrics. Nevertheless, he opens you up with a knife, and it is shocking because you've not really ever come face to face with someone that is just callously violent. You've had a life which is removed.
Yep.
Yeah, you've had a bit of risk in terms of you may have done certain sports or certain things that are a bit more physical, but he basically cuts you several times with the knife and then stands there and watches you as you bleed. And there comes a point where you collapse. And he stands there. He says, "Fun part's coming."
I'm too shocked to speak at this. I am, however, trying to drag whatever parts of me I can do anything with away from him.
You absolutely. You're trying to crawl, like all of those horror movie scenes.
Exactly
you're trying to crawl,
yeah.
And he just occasionally just kind of chuckles to himself. He says, "I do like a little bit of spirit. That's going to serve you well in your future, such as it is."
Kick him if I can kick him.
You do kick him. He doesn't react, but you do kick him. You definitely kick him. And at some point, there's this horrible moment where there's a bit of your brain that's like, "I'm Velvet Riley. I'm going to die like this?"
He's dying in a pool of blood on the floor with some weird guy.
And you black out ultimately.
Okay.
With thoughts of kind of frustration, rage, panic, confusion. And then at some point, everything just goes black. And then some time passes. You're not sure. You don't really have a sense of time. And then it feels a little bit like at first, like someone has poured a little droplet of fire down your throat. And that as that droplet of fire burns and travels down you, it kind of identifies, like it kind of reminds you that you have a tongue and a throat. They kind of come back, like flare back into your sense of yourself. And then gradually that seems to kind of spread through your body, and with it, a hunger and a need to be alive and not be dead, and a rushing and a sort of desperation. And the first thing you see when you open your eyes is him leering over you, smiling, his fangs bared. And the first thing you do is you rush for him. He's holding out his arm, and without thinking, the teeth that you now have, they know what to do even if you don't. They slide from their housing. They sink into his arm. And there's a moment where he kind of goes, and you taste the blood, and it is good. And time passes. At some point later, you're not quite sure when, you find yourself in the barn, chained up to one of the pens. And he's sitting there. He says, "So, seems like you're back. Not everybody survives, but I had a good feeling about you."
What day is it?
That doesn't matter right now.
It does matter.
Don't worry, I've made certain arrangements regarding your little family. Seems like your wife is taking the opportunity to take little, whatever his name is. I forget. But she's taking him on a little tour of the United Kingdom. You know, catch up with friends, that kind of thing. She's going to be out of town for a little while.
What did you do to me?
Well, I gave you a gift. I gave you a beautiful gift. You're going to live forever, Velvet, so long as you keep me happy. Oh, yeah. You remember what you did. You remember the taste of blood in your mouth. You're a killer now, my boy.
I ain't killed no one.
Not yet, you haven't. You give it time. I believe in you. So we got a lot to learn about you, about how you work, how you tick. We're going to do that together, you and I. I'm going to tell you a little bit about how the world really is and what your place in it is. You're not going to like what you hear, but that's okay. You'll get over it real quick. You have a lot of questions. I'm not really interested in your questions, so what you should do is you should sit up and listen. I'll talk. We'll go on like that until I'm ready for you to ask your questions. Hopefully you already understand this is not an equal relationship. That's good. That's my boy. That's my good boy. You're a quick learner. I like that. I like that a lot. So unless Velvet's doing anything immediately.
Nope.
He's
internally insanely angry. But
so a little bit of time will pass. He will tell you his name. His name is Wallace. Wallace Benoit. And he will tell you.
Does that name mean anything to me?
You can make a politics and intelligence roll. You think your father has mentioned the name Wallace once, but you can't place where.
Okay.
He will tell you some of the rudiments of being a vampire.
Okay.
But from the point of view of you being an apex predator.
Okay.
And just a little of the basics. However, he will say to you, though it is possible for you to drink my blood on a regular occasion, I do not think that is appropriate for either of us. So we need to find out your particular taste, because you are a kindred of breeding. Not any old blood will do for you, my boy. So we're gonna take a little trip and see what tickles your fancy.
You're saying vampires have refined taste?
Not all vampires, I'm afraid. Some of them will drink anything. Anything, no matter where it's been. It is a disgusting thing. But you and I, we know better. But what we don't yet know is what you like. And I'd like to know what you like, and you need to know what you like.
Don't I get to choose?
No, it don't work like that. You'll know. It's like, do you like your food spicy or do you like it not spicy? You don't choose that. It chooses you. You understand?
Well, how do we decide this or figure it out?
You'll know. You'll know when you're close. And you're close enough to smell. You'll know if you want it. You'll know if you don't want it. We'll do a little testing now in this nice environment for you to practice.
Practice?
I, for one, hope you fail this test. Let me just get one of my boys in here. I'll be right back. So a guy comes in. He goes out. A guy comes in, looking kind of vacant. He's wearing just kind of overalls. Looks like he's somebody who works at the grounds.
Yep.
He looks like maybe his hair is dishevelled, like he's been got out of bed, and that he's dressed not very effectively. He's not fully dressed all his clothes. He doesn't even acknowledge you really. He just kind of wanders in and stares. And Wallace comes in behind him and says, "Now, while this gentleman waits on our pleasure, why don't you give him a good sniff?
What?
Somewhere near a vein. See what you think."
I get up from where I'm sitting in a kind of a confused fashion.
Yeah.
I make my way over to this guy who I apologise to.
Okay, it's like he doesn't hear you.
Before I try to do what he's suggested.
So you inhale.
Yeah.
You can smell a bit of body odor. You can smell. You are aware of the vein in his neck. But before, when you remember when you woke up, there was a need, like I must, and that isn't there. And if anything, it just doesn't. Like you can see it's there. You can see the vein. You know there is blood in it. A part of you knows, but you don't feel the urge to.
Okay.
And Wallace says, "That is such a relief, let me tell you. Oh my, you do not want to be feeding on the likes of him. No, 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 sir."
Well, that's your starting point?
I just wanted
You're not
to.
starting with the caviar?
I'm starting with the worst of the worst. I just wanted something simple while we were in private. We're going to go out on a little tour, you and I, over the next few nights. There's going to come a time when this is going to be urgent, and we want to know before then.
All right.
So, some time passes. Wallace takes you to various different places. He takes you to a gentleman's club, and you have drinks and things. He will not get you a drink, but he will get someone else a drink.
Yeah.
He will get them to sit with you. He'll be checking for signs to see if you look interested or attracted to. But nothing's. I mean, a bit of you also is just like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
Then he'll try taking you out onto the streets quite late, and he will find a homeless person, and he will get you to squat over them, and he will watch as
This is awful and humiliating.
Nothing.
Okay.
He will start picking like different racial diversities. He will start looking at different age groups. He will even occasionally say things like, "I don't believe we've tried a blonde yet." And he will kind of keep going through those things, but every time it's not happening. And after all, he's starting to say, I'm starting to wonder if there's something wrong with you, son. But nevertheless,
have I got hungry in this period?
Not especially.
Okay.
And he will make sure you don't get too hungry.
Okay.
But it is there. And there's this weird thing. It's like if you've ever really wanted to have your dinner, and dinner's there, but maybe the cutlery hasn't arrived. It's like that. You can't start.
Yeah.
You want to start. It's there, but you can't quite do your thing. And there comes a point where obviously he is covered for you, but that's not an indefinite cover.
Yeah.
Your family are only away for a day or two, and they come back.
Yeah.
So he makes sure that you are not hungry from his own vein.
Great.
It tastes great. Oh my God.
I tell him I think we've discovered the thing I'm supposed to eat.
He says, that had best not be the case for your sake.
Why? I'm doing it right now.
It's fine to appreciate a treat now and then, but you do not make it your staple diet. Let me tell you, there
You
are
said we have refined taste.
consequences. There is refined and refined, boy. This is a one-time fever. There is a consequence, however, of you having drunk his blood a couple of times. But it's all right. It's only a couple of times at this stage. But you like the taste. You like it a lot.
I don't get why we can't just stop here.
Yeah, I mean, why is he being
why
so
is it a
painful?
thing? Yeah.
But he does let you eventually go home. He has told you at this point, obviously, you cannot be out in the day. You are going to have to leave before the dawn your house. On pretenses of work or what have you. But you go home. You get to see your family.
Get rid of the clothes I was murdered in.
Yeah, exactly, that kind of thing. That's all sorted out.
Yes.
They're tired. They're back from a trip. You probably also are a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's a very brief interaction. But when you're laying there at night next to Jessica, for the first time, you realise that there is some blood that maybe you would quite like to drink. There is something that tickles your appetite. She's asleep. It occurs to you, like if you were subtle, maybe you could.
How hungry am I?
You're not very hungry, but it is there. I mean, it would be nice. You don't have to, but it'd be nice. And you can see the kind of the curve of her shoulder kind of going into her neck, where the covers kind of slip down slightly, where the flesh is visible kind of over the edge of her nightie.
I think on this occasion, I will try not to do this. But if it comes to a point of being pressing.
Understood.
Yes.
It's not pressing.
Okay.
So you don't do anything. You just lay there.
Do I know from him what will happen if I don't eat?
Yes.
Okay. So
but it's not urgent.
Okay, fine.
But you lay there, thinking, I will not take the blood of my wife. I will not. I am better than this.
Yeah.
And you spend the whole night thinking that you won't drink the nice, warm blood that flows appealingly through the vein in her neck, about the beating of her warm heart. You think about that all night until you have to leave to go to work the next day. And that is where we're going to end your prelude.
Thank you very much.
So that obviously is a bit about how Velvet became a vampire. If you would like to see what happens to Velvet next, then please tune in to Season 1, Episode 1 of Blood on the Tamesis, which is coming soon.